Good evening and welcome to my live stream. We're here to fight CPS and stop taking our children. I'm your host, Bob Pace, and I want to give a warm welcome to all of you that have found me on Facebook, Bob Pace Fight with CPS. And we have already someone in the room. We need Dane Pro Base Bounce. Wow, what a name. I just call you Wee for right now. Welcome, Wee. And I understand you may have a CPS case. Now, I mentioned the word CPS. And what I mean by CPS, it stands for what is called the Child Protection Systems in every state, in every county, and worldwide in every country. I right now have 21 countries that have contacted us about CPS. I have all 50 states, including the District of Columbia. So that's a lot of people. That's a lot of people. Over 1,000 people I've talked to from around the country and around the world. 1,000 of you that have expressed troubles with CPS. Not all CPS is bad. Not all of it is. Some of it is good, but I think you've encountered the bad ones, and that's why you're here. Because I too am a victim of CPS, and I too had to go through a horrible experience with my family. It's very, very hard to deal with. It is Kate. Okay, Kate, and where is Kate from? What part of the world are you from, Kate? Let me put up one of the things we do in this live stream. People like to send me questions. I'm glad that you do. And so all I ask is that when you text me a question or a comment about CPS, please show me your first name, your city, your county, your state, and if you're outside the United States, that's fine. You're welcome, and your province or state and country. Also, please tell me about your CPS case so that I can help you. I'm here as a loving father and a husband. I have 42 years of experience. I've helped raise 6 children. And I too was a victim of CPS. Welcome, Crystal Salazar. I haven't talked to you in a while. So, you're the mom from Texas. It's been a while. The one that got the CPS worker fired from taking pictures of my daughter. I know that. It was a terrible experience to have your daughter, who was 13, I think, at the time, and then your son was accused of doing something to your daughter. I do remember that. But I'm glad that you've called back in, and I'd like to have an update. Now, Kate is from Iowa. She goes by We Need Dane. Pro Basal. Wow, that's a hard one to pronounce. So we have We from Iowa and Crystal from Texas. And you're from the county in Iowa called Hancock or from the city called Hancock. I'm not sure whether that's a city or a county name. Crystal says she has an update. She was 7 at the time. I have no update. She was 7 at the time, and your son was 14 now. I thought your daughter was 13 at the time that the CPS worker took pictures of her that came to the school to interview your daughter. County, okay, Hancock County. Okay, thank you, Kate, for clarifying that. You're in Randolph County, Alamento. Okay, great. No, Crystal. Okay, I've forgotten about the case. She's 9 now. So she was 7 years old when when pictures were taken of her by the social worker. Weren't your son accused of inappropriate actions towards your daughter, and then it shifted to the CPS now accused you of inappropriate with your son? Welcome back, Cynthia. Cynthia and her husband have been in this live stream for a long time, and thank you for all the love. She has hired Mr. Davis and is her attorney, and she's from California. She's from California. I forgot what um, county it was in California. Yes, God is very important in our life, and you can't forget them. Yes, Attorney Vincent Davis will stand up to bullies and will fight CPS to win. Attorney Vincent Davis, he's mentioned, is my attorney too. He's the one that started this live stream and asked me to come and talk about my experience with CPS and help others. He's a juvenile law, family law, dependency attorney with over 39 years of fighting CPS and winning back children, thousands of children. He also is a trial attorney. He can also file a civil lawsuit against CPS when your case is over. And he's won millions of dollars by fighting CPS, both in state court and federal court. Law of Los Angeles, you're from LA County. That's right, Cynthia. You and your husband are from LA County, and welcome there. Now, Crystal says, the allegations against me got dropped. Oh, well, that was good. You were really, that's great news. That is great news. I'm glad to hear that. Kate says, you haven't heard from him. What do you mean you haven't heard from, if you heard from Mr. Davis? I understand who you're referring to. You haven't heard from him. Kate, who you're talking about. Now, Crystal Salazar. Okay, Crystal says the ones my son has stated. Okay, and Cynthia is talking in a Espanol. I guess it is. I don't know if that's Espanol or not. I do speak Espanol, Spanish, but anyway. They still won't let me talk to your son. Now, why is that, Crystal? Why can you not talk to your son? Why is it you cannot talk to your son? The allegations were dropped against you. I'm glad. And that your daughter now is 9 years old. Is your son, I forgot, was your son, he was 15 at the time when you first talked to me. But maybe I had the facts wrong. Okay, the first allegations were against you. He was 13. Okay, I'm sorry, I misunderstood. I thought your daughter was 13. I talked to so many people. I've talked to over 1,000 people. So if I get stories wrong, I apologize. I don't intentionally try to do that. I'm having trouble with my computer again tonight. It's making the screen disappear and the comments disappear. I'm trying to hang on as long as I can. I'm trying to save up money to get a computer. Okay, he's 14 now. Now, who care of your son is? Where's your son at the moment? Is he still with you? Or what? Is there still problems there with your daughter and with your son? Okay, it's the allegations your son has said about you. Okay. I thought there were allegations against him, and then he reverted to you. It seems like it's got twisted around. I'm really confused now. Okay, he's still in the detention center. He's too young to be in a detention center. He's too young. You haven't heard from Mr. Davis. Okay, Kate, can you tell me what you've not heard? Hold on. Do you have a private consultation that's being set up for you, Kate? Because I don't recognize your YouTube name. Okay. Okay. I'm looking. Kate, can you give me some more information? I'm not very good at guessing things. Let me look on my phone. Okay, Kate Hakim, Hakim. Is that who I'm talking to? Okay, now I know who you are. Okay, I just didn't recognize your YouTube. Yes, your information has been turned over to Grace. It was turned over. Let me see here. It was yesterday. It takes about a week before you hear from Vincent Davis. Okay? Grace will get a hold of you. Grace is on the show right now. She's my show producer. She has your name, your phone number, and your email. And she will contact you by email and tell you when she has a private consultation set up with Mr. Davis. So you're all set there. All you have to do is, it's going to take at least a week there, okay? But he will talk to you. For some of you that are just new or don't know what I'm talking about, is that I offer, let me get my picture straight. Oh boy, this computer is getting really bad now. I had to hit escape. Excuse me if this is hard. For all you that know, I've had this computer problem for a good couple months. It's getting worse and worse, or where the cursor bounces and windows open and close. My computer is old. All right, we got someone coming on. Gabriel Clark. Are you ready to talk to us tonight? We may have a guest tonight. Her name is Gabriel Clark. Yes, you're ready to go? Okay, I'm going to bring another person on to my live stream. Her name is Gabriel Clark. And have you ever seen this live stream before?
Yes.
Good. So do you know how it works and everything, right? Yeah, and I think, whoops. Excuse me, my computer is doing that, not you. That's my computer. I'm trying to save up money to buy a new computer, but then I have to get paid, and I'm overpaid, so I'm not being paid yet. But anyway, I want to welcome you. If you could tell me where you're from and what your CPS case about, and then we will help you. The rest of us in the room will help you, and the people in the audience will help you too. So go ahead. You have the floor now.
I am from Florida. I live in Florida currently, but my CPS case is actively in Oklahoma, and it is very corrupted. Of course, y'all know that. Today I had a meeting with one of my daughter's psychiatrists, and they're trying to diagnose her with trauma and PTSD. And this is on a 4-year-old. And it's just horrendous that they're saying the trauma didn't start until they were placed into custody. So, I mean, I can use that to my advantage, but systematically, like, they've just kept my kids away for 11 months.
What got them started? I mean, how did this whole case start?
Well, I had some false accusations called in to DHS, and they were all unsubstantiated except for a recording of me that was recorded of me in Florida, which is a two-party consent state. You have to know that you're being recorded. And I was not aware I was being recorded. I was in my own home, and they took that video, took it over state line, and used it in Oklahoma to obtain custody of my children, which is a federal crime.
Where did you live? You lived originally in Oklahoma. Where did you make the recording? The recording made in Oklahoma or in Florida?
No, the recording was in Florida.
Okay. And why would they go to Florida to get the recording?
No, somebody in Florida sent the recording to Oklahoma DHS.
Oh, boy.
Boy.
You have a lay person. You don't know who it is. I didn't know anyway. I had a lay person too. And it took me almost 6-7 years to find out who it was. It was my in-laws. And they're
I know who it was.
Oh, you do know who it was?
Yes, it was my ex.
Then that is good news, because then you could go ahead and fight against it. So the CPS in Oklahoma took your children. Did they even come to your home to investigate?
So every time that it was over 9 months span, there was allegations called in. They came out to my home every time, screened them out, unsubstantiated. One of the times that lady called me and said, look, this is a more serious issue. You need to have your mom come into the office and we need to have a talk. And I knew at that point they were going to try and take my kids. And so when I went in, they sat me down in this little office with about 5 or 6 supervisors within DHS and made me listen to this recording. And I knew when the recording took place, it was a year prior to that day of me sitting in the office. So it was totally irrelevant. And it wasn't what they're saying. They were trying to get me to, self-incriminate myself.
What was the allegations? Was it neglect, abuse, or both?
Neglect, threat of harm.
Okay. And what was the more definitive of the neglect?
That I was yelling at my children.
Okay, so they're getting you what's called, that's more of abuse. That's called verbal abuse. And yelling at children is not neglect, it's actually abuse. But anyway, they went there. But see, the thing is, you weren't in Oklahoma, so how could they use somebody yelling their children in Florida?
That they're using it because that's their sole evidence on taking my kids in.
Any attorney or even a court-appointed attorney could see the mistake there. Question for you. Did you let them in your home?
I did, but I didn't know the things I knew now.
Yes,
back
I know.
then. And this was back in May 2024.
Okay, so you did not know that you didn't have to open your doors to them.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah.
When they called me and listened to the audio, they said, they said, you have 15 minutes to find a safety monitor or we're taking your kids into state custody. Well, I just started calling anybody and everybody I could. And
well, you got to make a list of family members. They could stay with your mom. They could stay with your sister. Anybody over the age of 18 as a kinship can watch your child. And they got to allow you to do that.
Yeah, they wouldn't.
What was the reason why?
They never had a reason why. They just never told me I could. I had a safety monitor. She left. Then they placed my kids with my sister-in-law and brother. Well, they're both 2-time convicted felons.
Oh, that's not very good.
No. And so they still placed them there. They were there for a month. I was very proactive every day with my kids. Then all of a sudden they took them into state custody. after 2 months has gone by since the safety plan. And then they're saying that I was a huge threat of harm. Well, if I was that big of a threat of harm, why didn't y'all originally take them into state custody? Why string it all out? You know,
Now,
within
how old is your daughter that you're yelling at?
they're 4, 3, and 1.
A 4?
But at the time, I wasn't yelling at them. I was
Oh.
yelling at my girls' dad. His wife had just recently moved into my home, and she was verbally abusing me in my home. As soon as I had
an argument with your kids, was an argument with what, the biological father?
his wife.
Oh, you're arguing with his wife. Why wasn't the kids given to the father?
Good question. They tried saying that he was failure to protect because when he came down
Right,
to Oklahoma.
Yeah, failure to protect would be neglect because, but the thing was, you were arguing in front of the kids or arguing at the kids. What was the situation there?
I was yelling at her because she was being very abusive to me, and I was going through postpartum, 2 weeks, just had a baby, and she was just being very verbally abusive. And during a time a woman has a child, she's very iffy about who gets to come in her area. Well, this woman came in and just paraded all over my family. And I ended up having to leave my home with my 3 kids and move to Oklahoma.
Now, why was this woman? Who was this woman?
That is the girl's dad's wife. So he was married the whole time me and him were together, but she was MIA.
Wow. So he has a marriage with a woman, and you had a relationship. Was it a boyfriend, girlfriend, or were you just lovers?
No, boyfriend and girlfriend.
Okay, so you had a boyfriend, girlfriend. You didn't know he was married.
No, I knew he was married. She just abandoned her marriage and her kids. And so I kind of like took that spot of raising her daughters, and me and him ended up having kids together.
You're not the biological mother?
No, I am. He has 3 kids with her, and I have 3 kids with him.
Okay, so we got 6 children involved in here.
Yes.
Wow. That is complicated by 2 different women with one father, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What is the relationship when this first came together? Was it just him being married and you boyfriend, girlfriend, and then did he break up with his wife, or is he still with his wife?
No, he's still with his wife.
And where are the 3 children that he had with his wife? Where are they at?
With the mom in my old house.
Wait. With the mom. Isn't his wife the mom of those 3 children? Right. Okay. And they're in your house?
No, my old house, I had to leave of 7 years. I moved out of it with my kids.
What's on the title of your old house?
My ex.
Okay, so you didn't even have a right to that house, did you?
But even then,
is Oklahoma a 50-50 state? Well, you're not married, so that makes no difference. Okay. So he's at his own house. Where was the wife? Why was she not around when you were there?
She was in Ohio for 5 years, fucking men and doing drugs. You know, she abandoned her own children, neglected and abused them, left them for years. And I was, stepmomming it.
So you met this guy. He didn't disclose he was married. His wife was in Ohio. And he had the custody of his 3 children. Plus, then he had 3 more children with you.
Mm-hmm.
And you're in his home in Oklahoma.
No, in Florida.
Okay. Well, did you make the children in Florida or Oklahoma?
Yes, in Florida.
Well, then you should be in the CPS hands in Florida, not Oklahoma.
But I was living in Oklahoma with my 3 daughters because I had left Florida from the domestic violence situation And the accusations and all that was called in on me when I was in Oklahoma. Basically, a retaliation for me
But you
leaving.
said you have a home in Oklahoma now. He owns the home in Florida and the home in Oklahoma.
No, 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 no. You're confused. So at the beginning of all this, I had a home in Florida. Me, him, and all 6 kids. His
All
wife,
6 kids.
yes, his wife was off, rendezvousing whatever she wanted to do. I had my youngest daughter June 22nd of 2023. She was 2 weeks old. I got a knock on my door, and it was that woman, the wife, with all of her shit. And she moved into my house.
Let's try to use good language here because
Okay, I'm sorry.
I have advertisements here.
So she moved in. I was like, yo, she has to go. She can't stay here in our house. Oh, and then, so much time had gone by. He would leave off to work out of town, and it'd just be me, her, and the 6 kids. So she took that opportunity to just abuse me. And I was already going through postpartum.
Did you ask for a restraining order against her?
No.
Well,
I asked one for him, and the judge didn't grant it.
Why not?
Didn't have enough evidence, and I gave them plenty of evidence.
So the CPS people never investigated a case when it was in Florida.
There was never a case in Florida. The case didn't open up until Oklahoma when I had moved there with my kids.
And like most parents or, most people, including myself, you don't know about CPS. You don't know what their function is. And it's sad because it could be a corrupt CPS one, and it sounds like they did. So when you move to Oklahoma, you're away from the abusive guy in your life. Wait a minute. Whose home did you live in Oklahoma?
My mother's.
Oh, okay. Now it's making more sense. So you moved in with your mom, and did you take all 6 children or just 3 of them?
No, just 3. My 3.
So you left the 3 that he had with his wife. So why did it get worse in Oklahoma at your mother's?
Well, because he came to visit me, didn't like that I was surviving and managing without him, and retaliated and just called in all these accusations. And
why did you allow him back in your life when he, was so abusive? Why did you want him back?
For my children's sake, and because I wanted child support. I had no support.
Right. But the thing is that he brings a lot of baggage. Now, when you found out he had a wife, why did you just completely ignore him or get a restraining order against him?
Well, I knew he was married the entire time. Like,
oh,
he stayed with her because of immigration purposes.
So
I guess.
Why would you get involved with a married man and have children?
I don't know. Good question.
Well, I just meant, I know love works in a very interesting way. We
were all good up until that woman showing up to my house, moving in.
Yeah. Well, the problem being is that when you have that kind of picture arrangement, there's a lot of things that are going to be trouble for you. Legally, you're not married. You are the birth mother of your 3 children. He's the birth father, but he has a family and a wife, and he couldn't get married to you because it'd be called bigamy. You can't be married to a woman, 2 women at the same time. And so those are all the, what do you call it? The writing on the wall. I mean, it's like, these are all the bad things there. Do you ever have relationships before you met him?
Yeah.
Okay. And were all your relationships like that, or?
No.
Okay. So you got a bad apple there. He was supporting you. How was he supporting you?
He had a job. I was a stay-at-home mom to all 6 kids, and he worked.
Okay. Did you know that even if you're not married, you can get child support if you guys break apart?
Yeah, I tried getting child support, and
what happened?
them because I filed in Oklahoma. Oklahoma had to ask Florida, and by that time I had an open CPS case and they took my kids.
Well, yeah, the jurisdictions, you have a jurisdiction problem here. And it sounds like the Oklahoma is probably one of the bad or rogue CPS systems. And the Florida one, you said was never involved, so they didn't care. So anyway, now you're in Oklahoma and you're involved with CPS, and you did know that you could get an attorney, or attorney could definitely help you. And you probably didn't have the income for hiring an attorney, right?
Correct. I had a court appointed.
Yeah, and a
But
court
that
appointed,
wasn't until about the third court hearing.
yeah, and a court appointed attorney, I hate to say it, is
Yeah.
worthless because they're only trained in criminal law. They're not trained in juvenile law or family law or dependency law. And dependency law is what CPS works in. And they're getting you for the verbal arguments. Now, the verbal arguments, to some degree, it's okay to argue, but you should never argue in front of the children. So were the children around when you were arguing with the wife of your lover?
Yes.
So that was where the mistake was made. You should have either said, let's take a walk, let's talk outside, or your children are so young, you need supervision. Or maybe they could go to bed and you could talk to later time. You should have just, that's beside the point because it's already history. So now the CPS has charged you with.
I haven't been charged with any crime. No charges, no nothing.
Well, how are you involved in CPS? Because you're guilty until you're proven innocent.
They just did an adjudication hearing. But I have formally not been charged with nothing.
Well, have you been talking to the CPS worker? And that's the bad news, because everything you say to them be used against you. They'll make false promises they won't not keep. They'll keep you along, string you along.
Now I'm in 11 months.
Well, they must have had a trial to determine to have your kids in their custody.
Never was gave a trial.
You never been to dependency court?
Nope.
Well, what have you been to?
So they did an emergency show cause hearing. So the day they took my kids to custody, they said, we're taking your kids into custody, hung up on me. Well, I called right back. No answer for 3 days. I had no idea where my kids were for 3 days. No answer, no nothing. And then they said, hey, you have an emergency show cause hearing. I mean, you need to be here. So I showed up, emotional, want to know how my kids are doing. And I was sitting up there by myself, no attorney. And they gave me this packet of papers and it said every other line, termination of parental rights. And I'm like, I'm not signing this. And so I didn't sign it. They never gave me any documentation. And it was like a week after that, they took my kids into state custody. And my mom is having relations with the ADA that's on the case, which is a conflict of interest.
What does an ADA stand for?
Assistant District Attorney.
And so your mom is having a relationship with one of the people involved in your case.
Yes. Just like I've had 2 judges.
Well, that's a conflict. Oh boy, that makes it worse. They are corrupt there in Oklahoma.
I've had 2 judges, 15 caseworkers. I've reached out to the deputy district director for CPS and filed the biggest grievance that she's been able to ever even see. And I still have had no nothing, just no outcome. Anything I've asked for or brought to their attention, nothing's been changed, but a new caseworker.
And you say your child is in the custody, they're in foster care, the 3 children?
I have 3.
Right.
My
Are those 3? I mean, the 3 biological children, are they in custody and foster care?
Yes.
Where are the 3 children that he has with his wife? Where are they at?
At home with the wife.
Okay, so she somehow gained custody. Okay. At least those children aren't involved in foster care, because foster care can be a very bad place.
Oh yeah, I know. My daughter's been sexually assaulted. I did reports on that. Nothing has ever been done on it. Investigated, nothing.
Now, I just saw a message online here from one of the members of the room, and she wanted to talk for a moment. Maybe you and I can help her to see what she has to say. Her name is Crystal Salazar, and she's from Texas.
Ooh,
And
what part?
I'm sorry, what?
What part of Texas?
Amarillo.
Okay.
I think she said further up here. Let me see. Her son is 14. Her daughter is 9 now. And there's some allegations made of inappropriate behavior. And first, the son accused the mother, or the son was accused, or whatever it is. And let's see here. I'm trying to. My computer right now is frozen. Oh, geez. I'm trying to scroll up, and it's a very long process here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to get to her thing here. Hold on a second. I'm trying to throw up there. Okay, Crystal.
They got the CPS worker fired for taking pictures of her daughter.
Right,
See,
right.
that happened to me too.
She's from Randall County in Amarillo, Texas. She said, can she call in? And certainly you can call Crystal. I'm pretty sure that Gabriella can help and listen and maybe offer advice from her experience. And Crystal, we'd love to hear from you. All you have to do is call my number, 626-698-0990. And my phone is live. And it's turned on. I'm just making sure. And I'm just looking to make sure she hasn't called yet. Okay. So, Crystal, my phone's there. So if you want to call in, I'm going to continue talking with Gabriella, who has a very difficult case.
Yeah.
She is an unmarried woman with 3 children to a married guy whose wife decided to come back from Ohio and take possession and cause problems for her. And her mother in Oklahoma now has a relationship going on with one of the people to the case. So it makes it further complicated.
And let me drum roll. My mom has been to the federal penitentiary in Carswell, Texas for 8 years for embezzlement. And right now, CPS is under scrutiny for embezzlement. And so it kind of, it clicks together. Because the part of Oklahoma is very rural.
Wait till Doge gets involved.
Yeah.
And Elon Musk gets involved, because they're investigating social services, which the child protection system, I know you have different names. I know you said, what did you call yours in Oklahoma?
CPS, Child Protective Services.
Okay. And Child Protection Services is being investigated because there's a lot of embezzlement of funds. There's misappropriate of funds. It's $1 trillion business. A lot of CPS have gone rogue. I wouldn't say 50% are bad. I would say right now you're probably looking at 25%. I've talked to over 1,000 people, including 21 countries who've called in, several from the same country. So there's probably close to maybe 30 people I've talked to from countries. And I've talked to probably, as I say, I've talked to a lot of people in a lot of different states. I estimate over 1,000 people. And one thing they do say is that there are the rogue ones, the bad CPS that are only interested in the money. And I think the Oklahoma one that you have is one of those bad ones, because you're not the first Oklahoma I've had problems with. There's another Oklahoma woman who is a Native American Indian, and the tribal leader is also the state attorney general, and there's a conflict of interest.
Yeah.
It's the Mohawks, I think, or I'm probably saying the wrong name from Oklahoma, but Oklahoma was a settlement of many American Indians, and this one was from Florida, and this reservation, the tribe of Indians in Florida, but the Mohawks weren't from Florida; they're from up northern New England states. So Chippewa, oh boy, I'm butchering it because I know a lot about. Pardon?
Kanawha?
No, it may be. There's two Indian tribes that are very prevalent in Oklahoma that have CPS.
There's Chickasha, Choctaw.
Maybe it's Choctaw. I'm thinking that.
And
whatever
Kiowa.
it is. Yeah, whatever it is, this one tribe, the leader of the tribe is also the attorney general for the state of Oklahoma. And there's a conflict of interest. And she rules her tribe with an iron hand. Anyway, this woman does the same thing. Cynthia, what is your phone doing? You say it does the same thing. You said, can you call me? My phone number's up there. What is your phone doing, Crystal? Because you're welcome to call in here. So anyway, so where are you at on your case? What hearing are you coming up to?
Well, really, I don't even know. I think it's just a review.
Have you been formally charged? Have you asked the social workers, what are your charges?
No, I've not been formally charged with anything.
Then why do they have possession of your children?
Because I'm a threat of harm, apparently.
Well, no. They got to make charges against you. The way that CPS works,
I have no charges.
Yeah, when they hear from a mandated reporter, who are the professionals, your doctors, your nurses, your school teachers, your counselors, your policemen, your firemen, they're all required by law to report. And 75% of the time, they're right. But the other group of person that we have are the lay people. It's like your lover's wife, that called in and so forth. And so they're about 50% right of the time. A lot of times they do it as a ploy to alienate the children, to get revenge, to do something bad. It's really, really bad. And a lot of these agencies, these CPS entities out there, the government entities, have learned that money is more nice than other things. So they're making $1 trillion business, and money is so loosely spent in CPS that there's no accountability. In fact, in Kentucky, in Richmond area, Kentucky, there's a social worker that has embezzled $400,000. There's $1 million that went unaccounted for, and they're still trying to track down the $600,000. So this one social worker has been charged for $400,000 of embezzling funds that are meant to help out with the children. You see, the money is so exorbitantly high. It's ridiculous because they give their social workers bonuses and incentives. In fact, the government in 94 signed into law by Bill Clinton, the Incentive Act, where if the social services, the CPS entity, has the kids adopted into foster care, they get rewarded like $15,000, $20,000 of incentive money given to that CPS organization. And that is sad because it's gotten out of hand now with this incentive law, because it's taken away from family reunification. Now,
one of my daughters is placed with my grandmother, and she's nonverbal autistic. And my grandmother had the opportunity to take all three of my daughters. Instead, she separated them, only took my nonverbal daughter, and has basically coached her into like trying to forget about me, basically. And I was raised by the same woman because my mom was in the penitentiary, and I know her little tactics that she does. And so it makes me very sad for my daughter that can't speak on her own behalf.
Mm-hmm.
And she has made numerous accusations and commented that she had adopted my daughter to my daughter's physician. And she has hired an attorney in a reunification case, which I think is very oddly weird because I've never seen a foster placement or kinship hire an attorney unless the kid was being adopted. But if it's a reunification case, there shouldn't be any attorney with the foster parent, correct?
Correct.
Okay, well, that's not what's going on in my case. My aunt is her attorney.
Wow.
Which would be her niece. And she worked for the state prosecutor's office or the attorney general's office of Oklahoma.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say hello to a person that's new to the room called Come Home Pixie. Hello there, Come Home Pixie.
Greetings from the Midwest.
And greetings from the Midwest. If you could give me a better location in the Midwest, it would be great. All I ask is a city or a county and your state. That's all I ask. And if you're from the Midwest, I know you're not from a country. There's nothing wrong with people from other countries calling in. I've been very quietly surprised at where I get my calls from around the world because people are hearing you right now. I hope you don't mind, Gabriel.
No. Yeah.
People in Africa are looking at you. People in Indonesia, people in the Middle East from Saudi Arabia, or even like Libya. I mean, we got so many different places, Australia, New Zealand. They're all looking at this live stream because they're having a CPS case and they want to know how Americans do it. How do we handle it? Well, it's not very good. It's very, very, very bad. But I'm glad we have Come Home Pixie. If you could tell me where in the Midwest and a little about your case, maybe Gabriel and I can help you. I haven't ignored you, Cynthia Livingston. I love all your prayers, and it's really good. And Cynthia Livingston is from L.A., California, and she's hired Mr. Davis. And she comes on the show to do a lot of praying for everybody. And hello, Cruel. Cruel is Felicia from Ventura, California. And she calls me Uncle Bob, and she's been on my show for a long time. Welcome, Cruel. And then there's Deidre Payne. How are they still keeping your kids if you have no charges?
That's what I've been asking this whole time.
Well, the problem is, first of all, she doesn't have an attorney. She has what's called a court-appointed attorney, and a court-appointed attorney are worthless.
Yeah, he's worried about his pension. That's why he doesn't stick up for me and advocate like he needs to.
Yeah. And
I have that on a recording, too.
He's asked you, Deidre Payne, who's been on my live stream before. I forgot where you're from, Deidre, if you could tell me. But she asked a question. Gabrielle, have you ever signed a safety plan with CPS?
Yes, I was coerced to sign the safety plan. They said 15 minutes to find a safety monitor or your kids will be taken into state custody.
Wow, they're using such abuse to you. It's terrible. It's a terrible abuse, this Oklahoma.
Yeah, I've been diagnosed with CPTSD and I'm being treated for it because of the removal of my children.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry that. Oh, yeah, Deidre Payne. I am so sorry. I haven't seen you in a long time. She's a host of one of Vincent. I always forget about her. Oh, brother. I always forget about you, Deidre Payne. Thank you for coming into my room again and listening there. And her show, I think, is boy.
I
don't see. It's like I do the show twice a day and I talk to hundreds of people. And I apologize, but we have a guest here, Gabriella, who has a CPA case in Oklahoma. She first lived in Florida. She is a complicated case because this man has two women in his life with 3 children each. and he has duped them and used them. And his wife he's married to has caused a lot of problems. And then her own family members are involved in this case. Some of us as attorneys. There's a lot of conflict of interest going on in there.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if they're trying to emulate the show called Dallas or Peyton Place, but it seems like it's like a lot of those drama series that you
Yeah,
see.
the reality shows.
Yeah,
I should walk around with a GoPro.
yeah, like General Hospital or The
Mm-hmm.
Young and Restless or all the other dramas in there. They have these far out things you can never imagine. But anyway, this does not help out Gabriella because she can't afford an attorney. Her only income was her lover, was her only income. Now, Deidre is saying, since you signed a safety plan, did they give you reunification steps?
Yes, I have completed my entire ISP.
Okay.
They had me doing domestic violence, drug and alcohol assessment, a mental assessment, random UAs. Like I've done the whole everything, and it's been completed for months now. I just had finished my second go around of parenting classes for them, and so I mean I've completed everything that they've asked. So it's just being pushed back and pushed back.
When is your next court date?
On the 31st, next Monday.
31st of March. And do you have any idea what is your court appointed attorney told you be prepared for?
Yeah, he doesn't communicate with me ever.
Well, they don't because
Yeah,
why?
and last week he had me blocked.
They have 30 cases or more. They don't have time to talk to you.
Yeah.
They don't even have time to breathe. I don't know how they're ever alive or how they can face each other in the morning because it's terrible to have somebody who's a court appointed that won't fight for your case. And all they are is interested in what CPS tells them to do. So so what is this hearing about? What is this hearing about?
It's just a review, I guess.
A review of your case plan?
Yeah, basically.
Maybe it's a 12-month review.
I'm hoping.
You said it was 11 months, so this is probably the 12-month review. Because supposedly, if your case is not solved in 2 years, you lose your reunification. I'm just telling you up front. I mean, I'm not trying to.
Yeah, I mean, I really feel like they're going to push and try and take my parental rights from me. They gave the dad an ISP, and so he had to do parenting class, drug and alcohol, and that was it. Well,
one thing I have good news to tell you.
Uh-huh.
By you being a guest on my live stream, you qualify for a free 15-minute session with Mr. Davis. He's my attorney. He's the best in the country, and he will talk to you free for a consulting conference on Zoom. He's a pit bull of attorney. You'll like him, and maybe there's something you can work out with him. Okay, yes. I'm not guaranteeing anything on that, but you need to get an attorney soon because soon you're going to lose your very adorable children that probably are very adoptable. You probably looking at you, you probably have beautiful children. Yeah. And I don't know what the father looks like, but you probably do. Yeah, I see the pictures on the wall. That's fine. That's fine. And so with that said, it's very important that we get you a professional attorney who's trained in juvenile law, family law, and dependency law, who has fought CPS. And right now, you're going to get 15 minutes. You know, your kids are very young, and they would love to hang on to your kids because they get paid $20,000 per child per month till they're 18. So that's a lot of money. That's $60,000 a month they're getting for having your children.
Yeah.
When the case is open, they contact the state, they get a number, and that means it starts the money coming in. And so, you know, they've probably contacted the state. They got a number, a case number. And so you do not want to get yourself into what's called the uh, parental terminating rights, the rights of your parental rights, your educational and your medical rights with your children. You don't want to lose those.
Well, they've been already depriving me all medical documents and everything. I've had to
They
go
can't
all.
unless you've had your rights. Have you agreed to sign away your parental rights?
No,
Have they been terminated?
no.
Well, then you don't know. See, the problem is, like most of us, including myself, don't feel embarrassed. I did not know anything about CPS. It's taken me 15 years of fighting them to
Mhm.
understand. If I had to do my case all over again, I would never have lost my children. I would never
Yeah.
have to go through CPS. And I tell people there are 5 steps to save your case. 1 is hire attorney. 2 is documentation. 3 is don't talk to social workers. Don't let them in your home. Don't let them take your children. 4 is to search the internet, and you have to arrange your words properly when you search. Find all there is. Spend 60, 80 hours of research on the internet about CPS in your Oklahoma state. And
I
finally,
have, and I've even applied, and I got accepted now, going for my bachelor's in psychology at Houston Christian University online,
oh, good,
actively.
good, good, good. Um, well, Deidre has been sitting here trying to help you
Yes,
by
I
um,
see.
by saying the
She.
things there, and she's speaking from experience. So please believe me that you need to get an attorney right away, and you're going to be able to talk to one. What you do after you talk to Vincent is going to be your own step there. And by the
Okay.
way, for people that are listening, you always want to get a quote from 3 attorneys. Vincent is one of them. So I've already taken the search out of one of them. There are 2
Mhm.
more. The 2 more you search in your neck of the woods. And basically, my rule number 4 is how to search the internet. You put in the city, you put in the state, you put the letter CPS, and then you say a juvenile law, family law, dependency, attorney, and a bunch of names will pop up. From that list of names, you need to pick 2 of them, and you need to call them right away. And you need to say the first question is, are you a professional licensed juvenile law, family law, dependency attorney who has fought CPS and won children back? If the answer is yes, your second question to them is, have you ever, when the case is closed, sued CPS either in state court or federal court and won money back from them? And if you haven't, if you have a yes to there, then that is the stepping grounds for you then to ask for 3 references from them, to check out the references from the attorneys, the 3 references, and then to take the 3 references, call them, and then arrange yourself to have time with them. So there's 2 very important questions. Question 1, are you a professional, licensed juvenile attorney, family law attorney, and a dependency law attorney? And have you won CPS cases by getting children back? The answer is yes. Question 2 is, when the case is closed, have you ever sued CPS either in state court or federal court and won money back? If the answer is yes to both of those, you get the 3 references, and you check them out, and then you have your meeting. You see if the chemistry, you see if the warm, fuzzy feeling with the person you're talking to. You've already checked them out otherwise. And then you have 2 viable choices, and Mr. Davis is the third, and you can do the same thing with him. Ask for his references. He'll gladly give you the references. But I've done the research for you, and I found an attorney that will help you. Now, all these attorneys are going to cost you money, and there's ways you can work around that. You have family members that can offer support either in loans, or maybe you can get a loan on some property, or you can get some money somehow, work it out, or with the person. Sometimes working with the attorney, they'll work up arrangements. I don't know.
Deidre, my name is Gabrielle Clark. Or no, that was Come Home Pixie. Yeah, my name
Okay.
is.
Yeah.
You can come on my show tomorrow night. I have 2 co-hosts that are
You can
CPS.
come on my show tomorrow night. Her show is Wednesday, and she has 2
Oh,
co-hosts
okay.
that are CPS advocates and parents of past CPS cases that can also give you some more guidance and advice. And that is tomorrow night. I think, I'm not sure on the time there, Deidre. What is the time there? My show is also under Mr. Davis's platform. It's called Are You a CPS Victim Like Me? Okay. And then she says, then you could go and give another 15 minutes with Mr. Davis.
5 p.m.
30
Pacific Central Time. Deidre, how can I get my number to Deidre?
Okay. What you can do to Deidre, you can do that through Facebook. You can contact her through Facebook. Her show is 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time tomorrow, 5 p.m. And in order to get the time from me, you're going to send to my phone number a text message with your full name, your email, and your phone number. Those 3 things, you give them to me, text it on that, and I will contact Grace, and Grace will help you. Now, we've gone over an hour. It's now 8 o'clock, and I do need to finish the show.
Yes.
So make sure you text that to me. Make sure you see Deidre's show tomorrow at 5 p.m.
I'll be there.
Look it up there. She has a show. It's called Are You a CPS Victim Like Me? Deidre Payne. And, you can contact her with her phone number, her text message to her, and send it to Grace. Now, Grace is my show producer, and she'll set up the meeting. It may take a week or so before you have your talk with Vincent Davis.
Okay.
There. So
sounds good. Deidre, perfect.
Yeah. Now, Come Home Pixie says time here in the Midwest is 11 something. Okay. For whatever reason, she doesn't want to describe her state or her city or county, which I can understand. I can understand that. She just put her cell number up. Let me see.
Did you get it?
Deidre says,
No.
get it. I just put my phone number up.
I'm going to send it to Grace.
I don't see it, Deidre. I don't see your phone number in here, Deidre. If you could put the number that she can reach you, try it again. I don't know why it's not showing, or maybe whatever it is there. But anyway, I want to thank all of you, including our star guest, Gabrielle Clark. I hope you come on my live stream again and talk about it. I want to thank Come Home Pixie. I want to thank Deidre Payne for talking on my show here. Okay, I got someone calling in here. Yeah, hi, Deidre. I got your number.
Bob, it's Deidre.
Yeah, do you want me to give her number to you?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
I think YouTube blocks it because I can't.
Yeah.
But yes, give her my phone number and tell her to call me after the show right now.
Okay.
Perfect. I will.
It's 714.
Okay.
724.
Okay.
0291.
0291. Perfect. I'm calling you as soon as I leave this live.
Okay. I want to.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Bob.
Thank you. I want to thank everybody. I want to thank Cynthia, who has been following me on the show here. I want to thank Kate from that long YouTube name she has. And she just talked to me the other night. She's from Ohio, by the way. Kate is from Ohio. I talked to her last night. I have so many people from all different walks of life and all different things there.
It's a sad deal, dude. Sad deal.
Yeah, I just wish my computer would cooperate.
All right. Well, I'm out, and I appreciate you having me on your live, and I'll be back.
Yeah, I want to thank Crystal Sandovar and Kate at and I think I got everybody now. I think I did. Yeah, I got everybody. And again, see me tomorrow morning. I'm live again at 10 o'clock. I do this twice a day, 7 days a week. Once in the evening at 7, during the weekdays at 10, and on the weekends at 8 in the morning. So God bless y'all. Don't give
God
up fighting
bless.
for your kids. And thank you for all your support. And I'll see you tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. Good night.
All
And
right.
thank you, Gabriel.